association. It's why your dog gets excited when the leash comes out. It's why you rattle their food bag and they get super excited because they've learned that the sound of that bag means, you know, good things are about to happen. The leash means we're about to go on a run. So typically what happens if we get our clippers out and our dog's had a bad association with it, they start running, or they'll start cowering and their ears will go back. So the whole idea today that we're going to do is we're going to teach them to love this by giving it a good association. What a lot of people want to do is they want to just jump right into the nail trim. Like, I'm just going to go up to my dog right now and start trying to clip nails. And so that's not always going to work. I don't know what's on my nail trimmers, but it's disgusting. So sometimes you have to start so basic as to if my dog just looks at them, or if my dog goes up and noses them. And so before we go into that, we're going to talk a little bit about the clicker, the marking. Let's see who else is in. Oh, we have a puppy in here. Yay!
You're going to need your pup.
Oh, I just sent him outside. He just got done eating.
So, yeah, okay. If you're wanting to do this live, you can have your dog with you. Clippers if you have them. Treats. Clicker if you want to use it. So, Kobe also has a cane corso. Kobe, Colleen, and Kathy have cane corsos. So, it's a cult over here.
I don't have one tonight with me. I have a bulldog with me tonight.
Does your bulldog like nail trims?
All my dogs like nail trims.
Yeah.
I Dremel everybody's once a week. So
yeah, we'll get your perspective on dremeling here in a little bit because I've never done it. So before we dig into that, we're going to talk a little bit about the clicker. Again, for you guys that have been through classes or in the Dog Mom membership, you guys know this. It doesn't have to be a clicker. You can use a verbal marker. So you can say yes or good. You just have to pick the same word every single time. And what this does is it tells our dog that there's an opportunity to earn food, and it marks a precise moment in time of what we want from them. So if you haven't done this with your dog already, which I think, I don't know, most of us have. So all we're going to do is we're going to click and treat about 30 times, maybe 15 times, or you can say yes and do a treat. This is my couch potato Opie. He's the inspiration behind this workshop. Come here. So all I would do is I'm going to use a verbal marker because my clicker doesn't really pick up on the microphone so much. So all I'm going to do is say yes, give him a treat. I'm not going to ask him to do anything. Yes. I'm going to wait till he stops chewing. Yes. 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 And I try to use the same pitch of voice every time. And that's why the clicker is so nice, because everybody in your household can use it. It's not going to change male, female pitches. It's precise every single time. Have you done any clicker training with the bulldogs, Colleen?
No.
Awesome. All right. So I think most of us have that down. But for those who are going to be watching the replay, like, that's literally all we're going to do is just for about 30 pieces of food or treats, we're just going to say yes and give a treat. And so you'll know your dog's ready when you say, let's see, well, don't look at me. I get him to look away. Yes. See how he looked at me? He knows what it means now. Same thing with the clicker. I'll try it.
No, dumpy. Not with your hips.
Look away. Look away.
Oh, he has to look away?
No, I'm just trying to show how you know your dog knows the clicker. But he's not going to do it. So focused. Anyway, you know that your dog knows what this means, and we're ready to move on to the next thing. When your dog, when they hear the marker and turn to look at you, they're anticipating the food. Does anybody have any questions about that so far? Okay. The next step of this is going to be handling feet. So what we're going to do is we're going to touch our dog's paw very briefly. We're going to click and treat. So we're teaching him that touching your foot means good things. If your dog is severely aversive about feet, it might be just tapping the top of their feet. It might not be a full-on grab. So I'm going to try this with Sir Opie here. Yeah, I know. Which he knows shakes, so that makes it a little bit easier. You can start with light pressure first and then do like, shake, bro. You can like kind of squeeze a little bit. And so you always want to start very small and then start gradually making it more difficult or more, I don't want to say uncomfortable, but more uncomfortable. Yeah. Okay. So for Opie, and for a lot of people, especially who teach shake and things like that, the dog's front feet get touched a lot, but the back feet don't. So if that's something you guys want to work on, you could start with the back feet, which is probably what I'm going to do with him. Okay. Can I move that bed maybe? That would be great. I'm good. Okay, good. So I'm just going to grab a back foot, click and treat.
Yes.
I can't with this dog. So most of you know that the clicker turns him into a psychopath. That's the kind of the downside with the clicker is if you use it too much for too much evil, it can turn your dog into an obsessive little animal. We're going to work on that a few times, just touching, marking, and rewarding. Especially if you have a puppy like Kathy does. This is so important to start early, especially with the breed of cane corsos. They are very protective of their feet and their ears and anything that's cooperative care, and they're really big, so they're hard to handle.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Looks like everybody's doing that. So, and then one thing to keep in mind is when we do this, first let's go back to treats. A lot of people say, well, what kind of treats do I use? I'm just using dog food because I'm inside the house. I've done a lot of work with him. I know that this isn't really hard for him. But think of your reinforcement, your treats as your dog's pay wage. So the harder the job, the higher the pay. If your dog's doing something really hard for crappy dog kibble, it's probably not going to work that hard. Probably going to give up and get really frustrated. So if this is something that your dog seriously struggles with, for story time, he used to try to bite me when I trim his nails. And I haven't done it in a minute because I've been waiting for this moment to do this in the workshop with him. So he would growl, he would snap, and it was a full-on war. And so I lost my train of thought there completely. It's gone. But we can, you got me all messed up. I told the last class, I am having some withdrawal symptoms from some anxiety medication that I stopped. And so I called a rectangle a triangle in the last class. So if I look a little spacey, I'm not having a stroke. It's just withdrawals. Okay, so we're touching feet. We're just going to keep going here. We're just going to see what they think about it. Opie, what do you think about that? So if your dog is more, that's what I was saying. If your dog is more on the severe reactivity, like, you know, just going towards your feet, you want to use a higher pay wage. Hot dogs, chicken, things like that. If he sees these and starts running, we're going to have to do a little bit more gradual, higher pay kind of thing. So if you guys hold it up, what does your dog do? Do they care? Do they run? You can tell that I taught Opie how to touch it with his mouth first before we even tried doing it, and so we're going to talk about that. When you grab the clippers, you can, if your dog is showing no signs of fear or anything like that, every time he touches it, you can click and treat. If that's too much, you can set it down. And every time they touch it, you can click and treat. So this is called shaping. We're starting with 6 successive approximations to what we want, and we're slowly shaping it into what we want. This looks like nothing to do with the nail trim, but it will when we put all these pieces together. Pick it up. That'd be great. Pick it up. Pick it up. You're so close. It's slobbery. He tried.
Boy.
So I'm gonna watch Wrigley's screen, just kind of watch you guys do this a little bit.
Let's see.
Yep, so every time you can even put, I always keep them closed when I'm doing the dog contacting it, but you can like put some treats around it and let them, like, they have to interact with it to get the treats. If they're showing a little bit of timidness with it, he's got the foot up, he's ready. I can't. You're ridiculous. So that is, that's that. Kathy, do you have clippers or no?
No.
Okay.
I should have brought some from work, and I didn't. So I'm just touching his feet. Tell them yes.
That's fine. Well, and that brings, yeah, we'll talk about that too. So, same thing if you're going to use a Dremel, and again, we'll kind of talk about the different tools. You know, just the Dremel out. If they touch it, if they interact with it, mark and reward. There's going to be another layer with the Dremel because it's got a sound, so you'll have to desensitize them to that sound too, but we'll go into that as well. And I'm just kind of watching everybody. I'm not just zoning out. Okay. From there, if you guys still have them on the floor, you can pick them up for just a split second, click and treat, and I'll kind of demonstrate that here. Maybe. Lay down.
No bite. No bite.
So I'm just going to put it on the floor, pick it up for a second, so that the act of moving it might be startling, so we want to change their opinion on that. I know you're ready. I know. So, and the other thing to keep in mind too is that this is not all one training session. So I like to pick, for those that are in the Dog Mom membership, you guys know that I like to pick one thing to work on for 7 days. And so if I was gonna I'd probably just work on touch and feet for 3-4 days.
No bite.
Then add in the presentation of the clippers themselves for about 3 days. We got puppy zoomies.
So bad. He's gonna be a bad student now. Oh my god.
Provide comedic relief.
Just want to squeeze the butt.
So the next 3 to 4 days just working on the presentation of this. A lot of people will say, how many minutes a day do I need to work on training anything with my dog? The ideal dog elitist world is 3 to 5 minutes sprinkled throughout the day.
No
so
jumping.
3 minutes here, 3 minutes there. If you have a life and a structured schedule that you have to adhere to, 20 minutes is a good starting point. Anything over 20 minutes, it's going to be too much for your dog. 20 minutes of dog training is equivalent to a 2-mile walk for your dog mentally. That's how mentally stimulating it is. And this helps us in the long term, and it makes it less traumatic for our dogs, but it's also working their minds. It's teaching them problem solving and critical thinking because they're chasing that click. What am I doing to get that click? And so we're actually starting to use their dog's brain in a way that they've never had to use their brain before. So from there, we can try the picking up. Murphy and Wrigley, are we trying the pickup yet? Hold on, you're muted.
Wrigley's doing a nose touch when I hold it up.
Perfect, and that's totally okay because we want him to kind of be in control of the engagement with it. And then Murphy, are we picking it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Down.
Leftover treat.
Boy.
I'm gonna say Wrigley and Murphy just got out of an hour Zoom class themselves, so they're probably exhausted.
Yeah, she's kind of pooped.
No. No biting.
Good
Sit.
boy.
So then,
Sit. You see this?
that's back talking.
Sit. Good boy. Yes.
I'm a sucker for puppies. Okay, so from there we can kind of go back to the feet touching thing. So can you kind of spread their toes apart? Can you kind of, like, I kind of pinch their nail a little bit and just kind of like rub the nail. So different sensations on the feet.
Yes.
That's a good boy, Wrigley.
On that, I'm gonna pull up a graphic really quick.
Good boy. Good boy. Yes.
My toes on the back. Cooking. What?
So while we're kind of working on that stuff, I want to talk about the importance. And so I'm sure you guys have seen this in some of the emails and things, but your dog's body posture can be affected by long nails. You can have split nails more. It can cause behavioral problems. Opie here has elbow dysplasia, and when his nails are too long, that kind of makes him have to walk a certain way, which makes that dysplasia a little bit more uncomfortable, the arthritis, things like that. Franny, my dog Franny, so Colleen, you'll appreciate this. Murphy and Franny are siblings. Yeah, I know, so much fun. So her nails get really, really long. Like, I'm not kidding her right now. Like, her dew claws are probably almost touching. Like, they're pretty bad because I just haven't worked on it. But her nails split a lot because going to the vet is very terrifying for her, and so we don't do that a lot. Okay, so from there, we're going to kind of pause on the training part a little bit, and we're going to look at an image here of, maybe if I can pull it up, share screen. Can you guys all see that picture?
Yep.
This is what your dog's nail looks like. The red part is the quick. Traditionally, we tend to cut at this diagonal line. If you kind of do more of this straight up and down line at a slight angle, it can make the quick recede a little bit faster. Either way is fine. With dogs who have white nails, it's easier to see the quick. If you even need to, you can stick a flashlight behind it so that you can see it. Black nails are a lot harder and they're a lot more intimidating, but you can kind of see the curve. It's almost like a ledge, I feel like, where you can kind of start there. You always want to do small, tiny increments, just like your bangs. When you cut your bangs, you want to start long and go more. Same thing with nails. And the thing to kind of going backwards a little bit, the thing to keep in mind is that this is not cosmetic for dogs. It is literally what touches the ground first. So super important to do this. And I mean, I've even had some cases where I've gone to people's houses for an evaluation. Their dog's nails are so long. I'm like, I can't even say your dog has a behavioral problem until we rule that out. I also wanted to show you guys, I didn't have any of this pulled up ahead of time because we were doing Zoom classes, but Colleen, what was that dog's name that the shelter had that was found out at the spillway? I cannot think of that dog's name. I hated that dog.
Was it?
She had the nails like so long.
Oh, man. It'll come to me in the middle of the night.
Like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to be texting everyone, hey, check it out. It wasn't Magnolia. What was that dog's name? I'll think of it. I'll find it. I'll find it and I'll send it out. It was the shelter had gotten this abandoned dog, and its nails, I'm not kidding you, were like this long. It was. I didn't know it was possible. It was so bad. So bad. So your dog can actually like put up with a lot there, but imagine how much discomfort that had to have provided. So the next step of this will be sound. So when you go to do your dog's nails, it's going to be a little crunchy, and that's why I like to do the kind of the pinching maneuver, because your dog's nails do turn a little bit when you clip. So getting him used to that maneuvering of the toe, different directions, that's good. But this is also going to make a crunchy sound with a little bit of pressure. So to desensitize your dog to that, you can use like a skewer, I can't say that word, or a match. And so you can just clip it off. And when you do that, give them a treat. So you'd probably have to use a verbal marker for that one because you've got your hands full. I haven't done this in a while. If we've worked on impulse control, your dog won't go chase the piece that flies off. I think a match is louder. Yes. He's a bad example. I contemplated which dog to use as an example here, and he's the easiest, but he also already kind of knows it, so. So when we look at all of this, from touching the feet to just him engaging with the nail trimmers to picking them up to the sound, that's all probably a good, if we were working on this consistently every day, that's like 2 weeks of work right there. So don't rush this whatsoever. If your dog is, body language, that's the other thing I wanted to go over. If your dog is growling, we never want to punish a growl. That's your dog's only way of communicating their discomfort with you. So that would be like screaming and yelling and punishing a baby for crying. We're obviously not going to do that. Whale eye is one that you'll probably see when you can see the whites of your dog's eyes. That's a sign of stress in dogs. Yawning, licking their lips if food is not present. Those are all signs of stress. I'm trying to think of what else. I think in the nail trim situation, you're going to see a lot of whale eyes, some snarling, some growling, things like that. If you're doing that, your dog's too over threshold and we need to go back a step. So let's say you're at the point of picking them up and your dog growls. Well, guess what? They need to go back on the floor and we need to just work on that. So very small steps, meet your dog where they're at and what they need in the moment. Yeah. Trying to think of what else we needed to go there. So with the clipping, if you guys are new to this, I would just start super, super short, just a little tiny bit, just to get your confidence up with it. Also, this is a great product. There's different brands. I don't know how to say it. It's Quick Clot, basically. And so it's a powder. Always have it on hand. It'll stop the bleeding. So your dog can actually, no pressure here, and I don't want this to scare you, but your dog can bleed out through its toe if it's bad enough. So we want to have things on hand in case you do quick them, and you will. It's going to happen. It's okay. We're just going to make sure your dog gets a party with treats and stuff right after you do it so that they don't always have that bad association. And you might have to back up and retrain some of the stuff. But I always have this on hand. I always have it open and ready. Sometimes if you take like an empty syringe and you cut the tip off, you can load the syringe with this. All you have to do is like stick the nail in the syringe itself, so it kind of contains it. But I always have it open and ready before I start anything. If you don't have this, cornstarch will work, flour will work, but it's not going to work as quickly. If it's a pretty bad bleeder, it's not gonna, you're gonna bleed through it. But things to have there, little hacks and tips there. So if you guys want, I don't think anybody is at the point where we're going to actually try clipping during the class today. But I am going to demonstrate what this looks like when you are at that point. So I haven't trimmed Opie's nails probably in at least 4+ months. They're bad. And so the other thing is when the dog nail grows out, your quick is longer. So the shorter that you go, the more the quick's going to go back a little bit. So you always, so like I probably, because his are so long, I'll have to do this like every week for a few weeks to get it back to where it's actually like needs to be in normal. So we're gonna try this. Sometimes also my mom's dog, Willadine, she's an English bulldog. She is Satan. Worst dog I've ever trained in my life. For her, she still needs a little bit of food during. And so I will take peanut butter and smear it all over my mom's dishwasher. So she's a little bit distracted. And then I can work with her there, get them all done. And then it's an easy clean off dishwasher. Slick surface. All right. So, thank you. So he's also not super comfortable here. Yeah. So even that was not comfortable 100%. Am I going to take it for the purpose of today's class? Absolutely. Wait. Yes, good boy. And keeping in mind, like before I became a dog trainer and didn't know anything about dogs, I would full on wrestle this dog to trim his nails. So this is huge for us. You want that one? Okay. Wait. Yes, good boy. If you're worried that you quick them, when I do it, I try to hold on to my dog's paw a little bit more and run my hand or my fingers right under the nail to see if there's any blood. Because if you do nick them, they're probably not going to let you touch their paw again. So I always try to check after each one. Good boy. They're so long. I wish we could zoom. I mean, you guys can see they're touching. And so you want your dog's nails eventually to be so short that you don't hear them on hardwood floor. Cane corsos, I feel like theirs just tend to stay a perfect length. They just don't, I don't know. That's just me. Can we try again?
Oh.
Yeah. Good boy. I got that one. Good. Can you sit? This one. No, other one. Rough. No, foot. Wait. Sure. And so weight is one that I use. We talk about this in the Dog Mom membership too. We use weight to signal that something else is about to happen or that I'm going to give you a release cue or something like that. So I use it for Opie. I'm actually going to tell you guys a really funny story. So when I was really working on this with Opie, anytime he would let me near that one toe, I would jump up, we'd have a big party. I'd be like, yeah, good job. And so he'd get real excited and then he'd come back and we'd do it again. Well, I'd taken him to a vet hospital or a vet clinic that we used in Manhattan. And I didn't think about it, but they went to do his nail and all of a sudden he jumped up and started going crazy. And they were like, oh my God. I was like, no, we trained it this way. I'm so sorry. Scared the crap out of the techs. Like it was horrible. I was like, no, he likes this. You're a good boy. I know. So, and you might only get one toe done, and that's okay. You can always come back and do another toe another day or give them breaks, however you need to do that. I want to make sure that we covered. Colleen, do you want to talk about Dremels?
If you can get as lucky as I did with, all my dogs through the years, 13 bulldogs I've owned, and now there's 4 now in the house and 2 kind of courses. I started as soon as they were puppies.
Yeah.
So I got a cordless Dremel. I've been a groomer for 24 years, just retired. So this was easier for me. Instead of, if you decide to do a Dremel, either way, nail trimmers or the Dremel, you should do them every 7 days because that keeps that quick all the way back. So I do my dogs every 7 days. We have a nail party and everybody gets Dremeled. So Amazon sells or cordless Dremels, and I use a diamond tip. They're $20 on Amazon. This does not get as hot as your Sandine ones, which I don't even use anymore. Same trick with what Emily said. That's on high, that's on low. And of course my bulldog looks at, oh, it's nail time. Not yet, buddy. Just getting them used. Same thing that you would do with the nail trimmers, you would do with the Dremel. Get them used to the noise, click and treat. If you get one nail done, like Emily says, call it a party. But either whatever tool you decide to use is if you can do them every 7 days, your dog's nails will not grow long.
Okay, so now I have a couple questions for you. Do you recommend Dremel over nail? Why?
Because you can get shorter with the Dremel than you can with your nail clippers. Yep. And I mean, whichever way you go, still watch when you're doing it, because you don't want to Dremel their pads or get in between their toes. So you got to make sure that's a calm situation in that. But Dremeling, you can get the nails shorter. And when I told all my grooming clients over the years, if you bring them in every 7 days for me to Dremel, it's money worth money. It's money spent, well worth spent, because you're not having the clicking. You're not going to have feet problems.
So, and it doesn't burn them, because I was always under the impression it burned them.
It's kind of like if you went to get your nails done at a salon, the diamond tip gets less hot than your sandpaper one, but it can still get hot. So you want to watch that. You don't want to leave it on there. Do it a little bit and then go back.
Okay.
Yeah.
You might have just converted me over to the Dremel tool. I don't know.
And the courses let me do it. And to tell you the honest, when Zach was 6 months old when I rescued him. Kai was just turned a year old when I got him. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it and see what happens. And they didn't care.
Didn't care. See, Cruella hates it. I got it.
They didn't care.
You're lucky. So then my other question for you is, as a groomer, do you have any tips that I didn't cover on making sure that you don't click them?
Just watch with those black nails. If your dog will let you, there will be a black dot and it's real little. When you get close enough, you will be able to see it. That's when you know you're close enough, and don't go anymore. I think I've got 2 of my bulldogs have white nails. Corsos have got black nails. So, do I quick mine with the Dremel? Absolutely. And that's when I get out my powder and pack. If you don't have that, like Emily said, the cornstarch or flour will work. You'll just have to keep packing that and holding it to stop the blood, and just give lots of treats.
Pausa.
It'll happen.
So I can show the dot. Pausa. Come on. There we go. Oh. I wonder if I could Google it really quick, because it is. It's like I forgot about the black dot.
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Trying to find a good example here.
Oh, did you hear that, Toys Aunt?
Got a new giraffe.
Oh, Zach heard it too in the background. He's at the office door.
Well, I had it up, but I don't know.
Good boy. Good boy. Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna share screen. It's just a Google thing, so it's gonna right here in the middle. You can kind of see that one.
Yep.
No.
Unlike this one. This one,
Yes.
that's when you've quicked it a little bit too much.
Yep.
Yeah, I think those are good.
Those are good examples.
So then if I've seen the black dot, I've gone too far.
Don't go any farther.
Don't go any farther. Okay.
Done.
All right.
Done.
Before we go any further, does anybody have any questions about anything we have covered so far?
Yep.
We're just amazing and really good at what we do. We've got a question.
Emily, we had a question. Does the Dremel take longer? I mean, it seems like with this clippers, you're just clipping real quick, but with the Dremel,
it will be a little bit longer, but in the long run, you'll have less jagged edges than when you're using just the nail trimmers. And smoother nails and shorter eventually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Guess that with the Dremel too, like if you quick them, it's not going to be as dramatic because you're taking off a little bit of a time.
Yes, and I've done it. I did when I was just got back from being gone for 2 months. Of course, my husband cannot do any of that, so I did quick one of the bulldogs, and I dremeled, and it was just, it's like, oh, I'm like, oh, it was just like very small. I didn't even need to use any quick stop on them. So
okay. Yeah, I don't know. The trainer in me wants to try a Dremel just to see.
you can do it.
Okay, what else? Any other questions? Nope. Okay. We're gonna add in like a little bonus here. So a few of you have heard this. There is this idea of a relaxation protocol. And so the idea here is that we can teach our dog to relax on cue. And so that would be a good time and a good opportunity, once we've taught that, to do a nail trim, because our dog is going to associate it with a nice calm spot. So we call this Zen Dog. And what you're going to do is you're going to take something like a towel or a bath mat, something that your dog doesn't have access to every single day. You are not going to use the clicker with this. You are not going to use a verbal marker. You're going to use a lot of calm body language. You're not going to get your dog amped up because this is relaxation. We want to get them into a very calm state. So I use bath mats from Walmart, super cheap. They do not have free access to this. I don't have it down all the time. All you're going to do to start is just set it down. If your dog goes over to it, you can make some treats fall from heaven, but I'm not saying anything. I'm not adding, and technically he is panting too much. I don't want to reward that because he's in a heightened state. He's my crackhead dog. So we would just want to like kind of drop treats over there. And I'm actually going to swap dogs so you can see what this looks like with a not crackhead dog. A not crackhead dog. So Voodoo here is my puppy who is terrified of everything. So we haven't tried nail trims yet, but we will. And so while I'm talking here, we will slowly start seeing her kind of ease her way over there. And I'll just kind of talk through the relaxation protocol. So very short bursts. You're going to put this on the ground, make treats fall from heaven when they get over there.
Oh, when they get over.
So what happens is that mat became the cue for relaxation. I didn't have to tell her. I didn't have to say anything. That was the cue for relaxation. She's not panting like the other dog was, so I'm just going to throw some treats over there, call it good. And so if you reinforce this enough, this mat you can take in the car. You can take outside to work on reactivity. You can take it to the vet's office to do things like nail trims. You can use it for nail trims. You can use it in different applications. My goal is to be able to use it like going to like lunches on like an outdoor patio. I want to be able to have my dog in one spot in a calm, relaxed manner. So that's what I'm conditioning it for. She's also done some yawning right now, so I'm not sure if that, I don't know if that was necessarily stress or like it's truly getting her into that calm state. Could go either way with her, I don't know. What do you think? She's got all black nails. I'm so excited for her. So excited. For Franny, and I'm wondering if Murphy does too. Franny has like spotted nails and like some are white, some are black. I'm like, really? And all of her dew claws are black.
Yeah, Murphy has a mix for sure. And some of them are kind of mottled, kind of a little of both. Yeah. She's really over everything about me right now. All of our training. Lady, leave me on my bed.
Okay, and so periodically as you're working on Zen Dog, the more relaxed they are like that, you're just going to make treats fall from heaven. I'm not saying anything, not saying, oh, you're a good dog, nothing like that. I'm making it very boring, very, very calm and boring. And so, and especially because she had all her whole chin on the ground, I love that. So that definitely gets rewarded. And she can get up all she wants, but when she chooses to go back there, I'm going to make sure she gets rewarded again. I also, in a multi-dog house, I make sure that every dog has there's multiple colors over there somewhere. Every dog has their color-coded bath mat. Just because in my head one day I was going to have them all out doing this or something. I don't know. But I also don't leave those down, though, especially with this little resource garter. She would tear into somebody for going near her mat. So I don't leave them down. I don't want to think of it like your pillow. You don't want to have your pillow in every room with you, right? You only want it in bed because it's your cue for sleep. So we don't want to leave it out, free access. I like to end all of my training sessions with relaxation protocol because they're already tired, they're already done with, like she said, Murphy's fed up. Like it's a good time to do Zen Dog. Murphy or Wrigley's done too. He wanted to be on the mat. That's funny. Okay. Any other questions about anything? About like do I need to cover anything in more detail? Do I need to go over something like body language? Do we have the confidence to be able to go try this?
I don't know.
I'd definitely be super curious to see you and Dino do it because Dino or Dino?
Dino.
I get confused. We call my mom's dog, she's Willadine, but we call her Dino, but it's spelled different in my head. So
yeah.
I'd be curious to see how this works when you start with a puppy.
Yeah.
Start now, Kat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta order the Dremel.
So I'm gonna put together a handout tonight so that you guys have like another, like all those graphics will be in one place. There will be probably a QR code for the recording for this. That'll probably be easier than sending out a huge file recording. And then I would love to hear your success stories as you go with this. Mainly because this is our first workshop, so I want to make sure that it actually works. And I'd love to see how much it affects your life, how much it affects your dog's life. These workshops cover things that will make your life exponentially better. So we're doing crate training, muzzle training, enrichment ideas. We're going to have a whole plethora of these type of workshops. So I'd love your feedback on these. I'd love to see the success stories as you go. I think most of you are in the tips and training Facebook page. If you're not, send me a message and I'll get you in there. But for those who aren't in the Dog Mom membership, that's a good place to post your videos. If you have questions, I'm here to answer questions if you need help. If you're like, hey, my dog's just not getting this nail trimming thing, post a video of what you guys are working on and I can help you through what you're struggling with. I'm a little hesitant that no one has questions. I don't know. I felt like I was all over the place and I probably missed something, but we're good? Everybody's good? Okay. All right. Well, then we'll end it there. If you guys have any questions, you know how to find me. And thank you all for being at our first workshop.